All right, so on cycle 8, one of the things I had two ship traffic rolls, and one that showed up was this this guild ship that's been damaged, and the captain's looking to get rid of it. So this was event number 44, and what you can't see, I couldn't see anyway because of how small the print is. Merchant ship arrives, roll hull class. Don't forget, we've already determined that hull class is hull 1. Heavily damaged, captain and or owner is forced to sell in order to pay debts and crew wages. Roll percentage of damage done to the hull, 1d10 plus 3 components, 2 of which have been completely destroyed. Captain is asking d100 times 0.1 times hull sections for the ship. So there's a couple issues that may come up. First things first, let's just determine how many ship components that have been damaged or destroyed. So it says roll a D10, and I got 10, of course. 10 plus 3, so 13 damaged or destroyed components. Yeah, so this one's in pretty bad shape. And of course, we need to define or devise, figure out exactly what stuff. And I'm going to write all this other pertinent things down. So asking price. And it's a D100, so we're going to go 91. So 91 credits is what he's asking for to sell what's left of the ship. And of course, 2 of these components have been destroyed. So we know the hull itself cannot be destroyed, because if the hull is destroyed, then there's no ship to sell and nobody would be here. And so on and so forth. So first things, I'm going to go back here to ship component chart, because it just makes things simpler. And I'm going to, since I know it's a hull 1, I'm just going to ignore anything that says that doesn't fit or won't fit. And I'm going to base it off of the tech 1 or 2, and if I will do an odd and even. So in this case, I want to do, number 1, and it is a 6. So a star drive is damaged or destroyed. So star drive, and we'll assume it's a 2 based on our own experience. So, and then our second component is 48. Yeah, that's a science package, and this is too small, and it's a freighter, so it wouldn't have that, so we'll re-roll it. And 85. Weapon magazine A, that's a small wee mag. Third component, 71. Navi computer, and we will figure it's a Navi 1 and 4. 17. ECM. Sure, why not? ECM unit. 40. Gun mount. 6. 56. The crew living deck. Ideally, the crew living deck was destroyed. The crew's probably toast too, though, which makes no sense. Okay, I've already got a Navi computer, so we're going to get 1. 79. Cargo bay. And based off of the fact it's a hull 1, and what I'm already looking at, it's got to be a cargo bay 1 by default. And it wouldn't have enough capacity to carry more than that from what I'm seeing. 13. Particle battery, naval particle battery, that's way too big. 3. Hull, so we get the hull, which I was kind of hoping to find that was going to be one of them. So call it 9. 95. Star drive. So we have a star drive 1, which based off our freighters makes perfectly good sense. This thing has took a whooping, that's for sure. A shield 2, which basically being a freighter might be the only shield that was passing. 10. Oh, we've already done the navigator. 67. Life support system. Life support system 1. 12. 37. Now, I've already got 2 star drives, so I'm not going to put a third one in. 85. You think it'd be some sublight damage in here somewhere. We already got one. I'm not going to do 2 magazines. 41. Medical package. Yeah, once again, the ship's not large enough, and it's a freighter. 29. Navigator keeps popping up. 52. Nope. 2. Nope. 94. Nope. Please. 36. Sublight drive. There we go. SLD. 13. One more left. 24. It's a haul. Alright, got our haul 58. No, we already got one of those. 13. Nope. 61. Nope. We already got damage on that too. 37. You know, just to expedite things, I'm just going to put another sublight drive down. Because we're running, it really covered most of the ship. So pretty much everything's taken a hit. So, hey, alright, let's see. How do we determine what's damaged and what's not? Alright, let's see. I don't mean to roll it for. So I got 13 options here, so I'm going to roll a D4 and a D10, and looking for 1 through 13. So 6, 7. All right, so the cargo base destroyed. So that's one item destroyed, and then find out what else was destroyed. And 2 and 4 is 6. Yeah, crew living deck. Okay, the crew living deck was destroyed, but I guess that means they were jammed into the rest of the ship as best they could. No wonder the cat wants to get rid of the damn thing. Okay. And we just roll percentages for the rest of these things. So 97% damage for the star drive. This ship might be a total wreck. 44 for the Wee Meg. Technically speaking, we could have rolled this. If this was combat, we'd roll to see if the magazine had a sympathetic explosion that took out frickin' other stuff. Now, if the Wee Meg had been destroyed, potentially everything else could have been damaged because of it. 53%. ECM, gun mount, 42%. The hull itself, 69%. Yeah, this ship's in real bad shape. It's lucky they got into the system. They made an emergency jump and held their breath. 9%. Let's see. 6% for the life support 1 and 51%. That one has sublight drive, and the other one's 90%. Okay. Yeah, 91 credits my backside. All right. So we're not going to deal with that one at the moment. But what we do know is that this guild freighter, and guild is used loosely. It could be a really huge, massive guild, or it could be a very independent guild. One person, one ship. The captain could be his own guild. I mean, so we may want to determine all this stuff. So we know that based off of the hull size, it's running with a 220-ton hull, which means it would have had the captain and a crew of potentially 20, 220, yeah, 221 or 21 to 200 or 22 crew. So what I might want to be doing is this is one of those scenarios where you can just not care. You could just choose to pay the 91 credits to the guy, buy with the wreck of this wreck that's a ship, or you can negotiate with the captain. At this point, I would want to probably tap my commerce and labor minister, and who's going to have some advantages for negotiation, and use and actually create an NPC character sheet, even if it's just a small temporary bio for the captain, and have a negotiation with this person first, determine an actual fair price for the ship, because I think this is excessive for what's here. I would also want to create the ship itself, or use one of my 400 prefabs I got over here already designed. So I got me an idea of exactly what kind of components are in it, and what its capacity was, and what wasn't damaged. And at that point, once I purchased this vessel, I could then decide to just scrap it, which means dismantling, removing all of its components into its individual component parts, taking the non-damaged component parts and using them to help create a new ship for the house using my shipyard. And I could still do that, and I can take the damaged components and repair them. And to do that, you would look up the basic components in the blueprint guide, and look at what it took to build them from scratch, and it would be X percentage of what material is. So potentially, if you have just 1% of a component, you can rebuild it. You can literally rebuild the ship from scratch and replace it back to its original form, and utilize it as a house ship. Or like I said, you scrap it out and you use the usable stuff to build a different ship, and decide whether or not to repair some of the stuff that you got. So like this one sublight drive that's 90% destroyed, well, or the star drive 2 that's 97% destroyed, that's literally building one from scratch. My options there would probably to just discard it as garbage. Now there's some ups and downs here. So the house does not have blueprints to build sublight drive 2s without researching them. But if I have two technicians, I can rebuild that ship's drive. I can rebuild the drive I have, because the rules there's a little gray area in there, so I don't need the blueprint to rebuild something or to repair something. I just need the technicians that have the capacity, that have the tech level expertise to do it. And if I have them, then I can make use of it. Which brings me to another interesting point. This is a guild ship. In all intents and purposes, a corporate mercenary, if you will. And he has potentially an experienced crew. And of course, I want to roll all this. I want to roll the experience of the captain, and that's all based off of rolling on a chart, and then utilizing the house's house lord's squire status at negative 50%, which reduces the odds they're going to be tried. The captain might be green, but it's likely that the crew and the ship or the captain are tried, so they're not overly experienced, but they are experienced, and that's valuable personnel that I might be able to choose to recruit if I wish, and depending on how big of a guild that they operate. So I might, in the negotiation, I might want to ask the captain, what guild does he represent? How big's the guild? Is there a local, is that guild active, fairly active in this region of space? If so, is there a way to contact them? Because that's a possible avenue for me to contact a guild and get a guild to send a representative to my planet. and to negotiate and to find an outlet for purchasing things that I can't manufacture myself, and to sell my raw materials and things I can manufacture too. I mean, there's a lot of possible avenues here that's worth exploring up down the pipe. It's a matter of how we want to look at it. And so, in the slight second scenario, we also know that there's a second guild ship that arrived, and this is a guild merchant ship. I might also want to, if I negotiate with the captain of the damaged ship and discover that he is a member of a larger guild, one of those questions I might ask to see if I get a yes no answer to is if he's affiliated with the other guild ship that's in the system that's arrived in the planet, because that might offer some opportunities. If he is part of a bigger guild and he is affiliated with that, well, that's likely to decrease my chance of trying to recruit him, but increase my chance of connecting with the guild that operates these ships, and to get a better idea of just how much influence or how much range and stuff that they have in the region. Obviously, they weren't coming to my planet because they didn't, until now, they didn't know my planet existed as a viable colony or as an official colony. But there are unknown fringe colonies and non-affiliated colonies and guild operations, etc., 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 that I've yet to uncover and discover. Anyway, so there's always that possibility. Another possibility is if he's not related to the same guild this other ship is, did they have an issue? Is there some kind of conflict between them? If so, maybe I need to know about it, or I want to know about it. See, it's about how much do you want to know, how much do you want to develop, how far do you want to go down the rabbit hole. And once again, and I like talking about this sort of stuff because some of the weird pleasures I've gotten out of this game over the years is that connectability. So I might have an event roll 2 cycles down the road that's an event that almost seems to tie into a previous event. And you can choose to tie them together, or you can just simply go, hey, is this guild representative who just showed up on guild representing that guild from that ship I bought? Yes, no, or maybe. What's my result? And so on and so forth. Or if there was that conflict between these two guilds and a guild enforcer ship shows up next cycle or 2 cycles down, I might go and roll, was this enforcer ship, part of that guild or part of this guild or a third guild altogether? See where I'm going down that rabbit hole with it? The possibilities are pretty much endless. It is what it is, right? Till next time, this is Rick. Hope you guys have a great holiday. Oh, yeah, this is Thanksgiving. I am doing this Thanksgiving morning, and I did a couple of videos for Battletech, and then I've got a couple of these things for this channel to do. And hey, y'all have a great day. Till next time.